no matter how much I want to accomplish, no matter what I want to do, I don't depend on others to create my joy. Hi, models.com. I'm Precious Lee, and we're at the Mark in New York City. I feel like some of the earliest profound fashion moments that I've had definitely started in my living room, in my childhood home, and every day that I went to school. I mean, there was a year that I would only wear baby pink and powder blue, and my mom actually obliged. She's one of my biggest inspirations when it comes to fashion as well. Also, my sister, Charisma, she would do full style outs the night before school, and I would just sit there and watch her on her waterbed. She would like try on all these clothes. The versatility growing up in Atlanta is just something that is so special, and I think that's what can't be duplicated. It's just always been something like encoded in my DNA. So my Uncle Keith, which is my mother's brother, he died tragically from AIDS. Being a gay man in the South, he was into drag. It was like a private life for him, and it was a life that my mom really didn't know that much about into the end. And it was just always something that she was able to support him in, so he didn't feel like he had to hide it and he had to be confined to what it means to not live out loud. And it was an experience that my mom had that really transformed how, she dealt with fashion and beauty, because she was his muse. To know that I'm able to live a part of a dream that he didn't get an opportunity to live out. So all of like my big moments, like I do it for my mother, my sister Charisma, and my uncle. Going to an HBCU, historically Black university, to experience learning in an environment that felt so curated for me and my peers. Everyone is young, Black, and gifted and uplifted. We all have the common goal of not just being educated, but also immersing ourselves in our culture. But I was basically helping some friends to get together for the homecoming fashion show. It was like a pep rally almost, and you had to walk down this long runway. And so all of my friends went ahead of me and basically like, walk. Then I walked, and I was the only person they picked out of their entire group. That sparked exploring what it meant to be on a runway. I was not going to New York before I graduated. The semester before graduation, I got signed to Ford. Everyone was just so shocked that I didn't drop everything to go. My agents at the time thought I was nuts, but I modeled through college. So my experience was a hybrid experience at the school, and I knew that I would be a better model by achieving my initial goals. And I think that was a part of my foundation of my upbringing and my education. And so I graduated, and the same week I graduated, I flew to New York on a one-way. When I started connecting with my people, Tyler Mitchell, ID, Carlos, Letitia, one of my favorite hairstylists, RIP. It was just really special to shoot at home, in Atlanta. Him being from Atlanta, us being in Atlanta, my first ID shoot. I have been practicing how I would do my ID cover for the longest. I literally had so many in the chamber. I am always excited to do a beauty moment. It's a different way of modeling. Being able to be the face of something that isn't just about my body, is really special. Fenty, Richard Burbridge, that was amazing. One of my fave moments. It just signifies more of an expansion in that high fashion space, brands that you don't necessarily see an African-American woman doing, especially curve. Showing and expressing how luxurious it is to be Black. I will never forget my Mizell experience. I have been a Mizell girl in my head since I found out who he was. But for me, that British Vogue cover, Mizell cut all the lights out in the studio. The camera's so far back. You cannot see anything. You can hear the clicks, and I could hear Mizell, yes, amazing. In the background, it's like Pat McGrath. Major! People talk about manifesting there all the time, but like, babe, the way I manifested that was a gag, and I gagged myself. That moment after Versace, I was like, I walked Versace in my head several times before that. A couple of days before my sister Charisma's birthday, who died when I was a kid, my sister who I told you I would sit and like watch her get dressed, and she was my favorite person. But in that moment in lineup, I literally could feel her energy and her spirit. I'm about to tear up now. I was like standing there just like this, and I was about to bawl. 2 people ahead of me, and the casting director, Pier Giorgio, comes up to me. He's, "You're the most beautiful woman in the world." And he spins me around. He's like, "Walk." And I go out, and like there's this glaze over my eyes. Girl, if you blink, you're going to cry a tear. And I had to like blink only once, so the tears wouldn't fall out my eyes. So for me, it was beyond a fashion moment. It was more about, I knew that I was capable. And to feel my sister's energy, of course she's gonna come and make me cry. Going abroad, doing Paris, doing Milan, the pressure came not only being a size 14, I'm the only African-American model. My family insulated me. I didn't think anything about being bigger, and I also grew up in Atlanta, where it's predominantly African Americans, and I just didn't feel those limitations, and I was faced with them when I started going abroad. Being bigger and blacker in high fashion, babe, it's not easy. I don't talk about it often, the struggles of it, but personally, it's caused me to grow exponentially.